So thanks once again for dropping by the channel. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it, if you felt it was useful. Now let's get into this. So, Eubank Jr. back in the headlines again. He is talking up Canelo Alvarez, and we're saying some interesting things here. He feels that he's the best opponent for Canelo and that he knows he can beat Canelo. Quoted here from Sky Sports, this is what Chris Eubank Jr. had to say. He says, "I don't think anyone on the planet would make a better opponent for him than me. Most guys are going in there to run and survive. I should say. I'm going in there to destroy. I know I can beat him. So that's the fight I want. I definitely have the strategy. I see the weakness. I can see where he can be exposed. I'm not looking to survive. I'm taking the fight to him, and I don't think he's ready for someone like me. Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, two of the biggest names in boxing, and they both have middleweight titles. Those are the guys I want. Those are the fights that I need at this stage of my career. I don't want to take backward steps. Full steam ahead." He also had a say on Billy Joe Saunders on a potential rematch with him, because I do think Eddie Hearn, he mapped out 3 fights for Billy Joe last week if the Canelo fight doesn't happen. I think it was Callum Smith, Demetrius Andre, and Eubank. So he says here that it's a fight that can and probably will happen again in the future. This is what Eubank is saying about Billy Joe. He says, "Everyone knows we don't get along." That's an understatement. "We don't like each other. I want the fight." But he's saying here the only issue is that I'm a middleweight and he's at super middleweight. Well, Eubank Jr. was happy to fight at middleweight up until recently, or super middleweight up until recently, when he was, pretending to be world champion with the IBO belt. We fought guys like George Groves, stuff like that. Eubank Jr., it seems like he's stuck down at middleweight. Billy Joe really is a middleweight, truth be told. So that fight could take place at either weight. Neither guy is a super middleweight. Both guys are middleweights, basically. But that's the Billy Joe Saunders one out of the way. He's talking about Canelo there and saying that he sees the weaknesses, he knows he can exploit them, and saying that, unlike most, he won't go in there and try and run and survive. Well, I've never put it like this, right? In Canelo's last however many fights, the last opponent I could say really that got on their bike and ran a bit against Canelo was Amir Khan, and that fight was 4 years ago. You could argue Chavez Jr. as well, but Amir Khan definitely ran in that fight until he got caught. Most guys, when I see fight Canelo, your Danny Jacobs, your Sergey Kovalev, hell, even your Rocky Fieldings, they're not looking to survive. By my look, they're looking to win, because they all know, or they should know, that fight Canelo, you get a big payday. He is a great counter puncher, but if you can use some of your physical attributes, such as your height and reach, you can maybe upset him. And as well as that, they know that if you beat Canelo, whatever money you are going to make now, so in Kovalev's situation, when they fought, I think he got something like 6.5 million. If you beat Canelo, the pay you get is going to double in the rematch. So it's very much within the fighter's incentive to win. In terms of what Eubank says, is that he can see holes and that he would go in there to destroy Canelo. Well, Eubank Jr., he's been out of the ring for how long now? Since he fought Korobov, and Korobov injured himself in that fight, having made Eubank Jr. look a bit basic in the first round. He beat an absolutely, over the hill, god awful at this stage, James DeGale, who retired not long after. So Eubank Jr., in terms of, a wave of momentum, it's there, but it's not what Canelo's been doing. Canelo's been beating guys like Danny Jacobs, guys like Sergey Kovalev, guys like Triple G. Canelo has been doing that in good fashion as well. Triple G fight was close. Kovalev was a good knockout. The Danny Jacobs fight, that was close-ish, but I thought Canelo won that fight. Canelo's been putting in work. He is a much improved fighter, and we know Canelo can fight in the front foot. He can fight quite well on the back foot. Eubank Jr., he doesn't have a front foot game to speak of. He's not really he's not good at cutting the ring off. He's not a good pressure fighter. His jab is very off. He's not really got much of a jab. He doesn't, because his elbow is very bad. Pretty much, you would say Eubank Jr., I won't say he's tailor-made for Canelo. Someone who's tailor-made for Canelo is someone who's going to come at him. Eubank Jr. won't come at him. But Canelo, I think, would steamroll Eubank Jr., where he's saying that he can see holes. Well, most fighters have, holes in their game, and there's no such thing as a perfect fighter. But Eubank Jr., he has so many holes in his game, it's like Swiss cheese. Seriously. And the holes in Eubank Jr.'s game they're not just technical, because definitely he has so many flaws in his technical game, it's not even funny. When he's having to go and look for an opponent, as in, like, if an opponent's fighting him on the back foot and he needs to go looking for them, he looks all over the place. As I said, he's never developed a jab. In terms of Eubank Jr. as well, it's not just technical, it's mental, because Eubank Jr. on big stages, like when he fought George Groves and when he fought Billy Joe Saunders, he bottled it. He didn't bottle it against De Gale, but with De Gale, you felt that De Gale being so over the hill kind of helped Eubank Jr. out a bit. Now that may help him out, taking confidence from that performance that he didn't freeze against De Gale moving forward. But if he was ever to fight Canelo, you would imagine, if there's fans in attendance, massive sellout, big world stage, everyone's eyes on you. Would Eubank Jr. hold it together then? Jury's out. If you've done it twice, there's not to say you can do it a third time, especially on a big stage like that. So that's what Eubank Jr. is having to say. He's having his say on the whole Canelo Alvarez situation. Canelo is the fight everyone wants. He is the money fight in boxing. And now with the way things are going, where we're seeing fewer shows, where, boxing's going to take a hit. It is. Everything's going to take a hit. We're all taking a hit from what's going on in the world. A lot of these fighters now want to get these big fights made ASAP. With Eubank Jr., I want to know what's going on with the Charlo fight, because when he signed with Al Heyman, it was pretty much kind of all of us thinking Charlo next. Definitely Charlo next. There was talk of Charlo next. What's happened with that? That's what I'd like to know. So, what's happening with Eubank and Al Heyman? Is he with Al Heyman still? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If Eubank Jr. does fight Canelo, do you think, as he's saying here, he could destroy Canelo? Or do you think, like myself, it'd be the other way around? Let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, of course, if you are new. And as always, I will talk to you.